Hello, Sugar Scout Mom, Melinda Tibbetts from Troop 36, and I just got back from Philmont. Woohoo! It was quite an adventure. It definitely lived up to all the hype that I had been reading and listening to about, and I just got home today and I decided, you know what, before I forget what all I used and what all I did and start washing things, I decided I'm going to show you guys what I used, what I and brought with me to Philmont. What worked, what didn't work, and hopefully this will give you guys some tips and help for anyone that's deciding to go to Philmont. My son was the crew leader, so that meant he had lots of important papers he had to hold on to. I got him one of these C-line sealable water protector bags, map protector bags that you can get. I got it at Moose Jaw. It was a lot of help. These little hooks were helpful. He just carabined, he folded it in half and carabined it to his belt loop, and he was able to carry around all the pertinent papers that he needed for the whole trek. I'm not going to go through everything that is in here, but another key thing when going to Philmont, pack a separate bag from your Philmont bag that you're going to bring on the trail. Have a separate one for the first day you're in camp and the last day you're in camp. This is going to have your clean clothes, soap, shampoo. Trust me, you're going to want to use that after you get off the trail. Whether you're doing a 7-day trek, a 9-day trek, or a 12-day trek, you're going to want some shampoo and some soap. If you come to Philmont on a train, a bus, a plane, anything besides your own personal vehicle, then your things will need to be put into a locker cubby system thing. If you have that, you're probably going to want something smaller than this, just so that you have enough space for your whole crew to be able to fit all their things. If you're taking your own vehicle like what we did, this works out very well. I was able to just stick it in the car and have it ready to go when I got off the trail. Make sure you've got Nalgene's, towel, like I said, change your clothes, and I brought a rechargeable battery pack and left a full one in here, so when I got off the trail I already had power that I could plug into for any of my electronics. Now on to the fun stuff. What did I pack in my pack for Philmont? Well, first off, I have a chair here. I did not bring the chair. It's 2 pounds. I got it off of Amazon and it's very light, but I decided to save myself a couple pounds and I did not bring it. My son, on the other hand, brought a chair, shared it between the two of us, and it was amazing. So if you have enough space in your pack to do a chair, I highly, highly, highly recommend it, because it was very nice to have a chair when you're in camp after hiking all day to sit down on. Now for the fun part. I'm going to go through my pack and show you everything that I brought, what I used, what worked, what didn't work. First up, trekking poles. I got these guys off of Amazon, Trail Buddy. They worked very well. The one thing I didn't like fully was if I put a lot of weight on the pole, sometimes this part would slip. So I had to readjust them. You can tighten it right here. That was a little bit of a pain, but most trekking poles do that. Overall, they held up very well, you can see. And even if you go to Philmont, you have to have rubber tips. And these rubber tips held up. They did not, pointy did not break through, and I used these on every trail that we went on. We hiked 76 miles. 76 miles. And you can see the rubber tips are still intact. So get these on Amazon. They worked really well. Sunglasses, very important. It gets sunny at Philmont you are higher elevation, you want some sunglasses. You don't necessarily have to go out and buy the most expensive ones. I would suggest getting a cheap pair. We had one advisor who broke their sunglasses. We had another scout that lost their sunglasses. So I would suggest just getting a cheap pair, one that works well. They are very useful to have. Mug, yes, very important. I did not bring mine. My son did bring his, and I used his every day. So I regret not bringing mine. Thankfully, he let me use his. Advisors can have tea, coffee, hot chocolate at staff camps between 5 and 6 o'clock in the evening. Some of them have coffee mug containers that you can borrow. Others do not. So it is important to bring a mug. If you are a coffee drinker, tea drinker, hot chocolate, bring one so that you can have that, enjoy that at staff camps. Another important thing is Nalgene's. You want to have at least 4 liters. I had these 2 liters and then a 2-liter bladder. So I had 4 liters with me. And then I got this at Baldy Town, the only place where you can get this type of Nalgene. Here's my 2-liter Evernew. The way that these top part is, a Sawyer filter will fit on the top. So that's why I got this Evernew one, so that I could fill it up and then filter it. I only ended up filtering up until like day 3. When we were at Clark's Fork, the water was really, really gross. Just pre-warning, it looks like cloudy water. It doesn't look like it's good water to drink. It is, you can drink it, but it doesn't taste the greatest. So I filtered at Clark's Fork, but then after that I gave up on filtering and just drank the water at staff camps. We got lucky. We didn't have anywhere where we had to use the tablets. If I had to use the tablets, I probably would have used my Sawyer more. I would have used the tablets to purify the water and then my Sawyer to help get the taste out. This is just to show you that it does fit on there. I just put water in here, tip it upside down, and I would have filtered water. I would just filter it into my Nalgene's. It did work well, but it's extra weight. Speaking of weight, they have a scale in base camp where you can weigh your pack. My pack, when I started out, was 45 pounds. My son's was 53 pounds. I thought I had done a good job of packing. It was much heavier than I had planned on, but it ended up working out. I ended up being okay with that amount of weight. When you get your food pickup, you're going to get a lot of extra weight in your pack that you didn't realize. So be cautious of how much you pack. I forgot also to mention this. When you get to Philmont, you're going to get one of these tags. These tags, you'll put your name on it, what your expedition number is, and this is it's a wilderness pledge, so you have that on there. The hymn, grace, essentials for hiking, campsite selection, setup, bear precautions, all that kind of stuff. This tag is just handy to have on hand. And then also, if you take the bus out or back into base camp, it makes it easier to find your backpack because it has your name on it. Another must-have, very important thing to make sure you get a good quality one is a backpack rain cover. Once you get into the backcountry, you cannot put your backpack underneath the rain fly. It gets put against a tree. It rains, especially if it's during monsoon season. So you will need to have your pack up against a tree with the rain cover on it. I had the rain cover on mine every single night. This is one I got off of Amazon. It is extra big for my backpack. My backpack is a 65 liter. This one goes even over, I don't know if you can see my tent. It's right here, goes over my tent. It's elasticy. It has a belt buckle right here that goes underneath the straps and then buckles on this side, and it stays secure. It was very useful, worked really well. I got a little bit of tree sap on it, but other than that, it held up really well, kept my stuff dry. We had another scout who had a rain cover on his backpack, and everything in his backpack still got soaked. So it is important to make sure you have a good rain cover for your backpack, one that is well fitting and is not going to leak. Some of the other things I've got on the outside of my backpack, I have a Marmot one-person tent. I loved this tent. It worked very well. I put everything in here, or kept everything in here except for my poles. My poles I took out and put separately in the side pocket. I do that so that I can squish up the tent smaller, and then if I put my backpack down, I don't have to worry about my poles getting bent. On the side, I have a Sea to Summit Nano backpack. This was handy because this thing is 1 ounce. It is tiny, tiny, tiny. It worked well for going up the tooth and for going up Baldy, because I had my son to help carry some extra of the water. You can fit about 2, maybe 3 Nalgene's in this, a small raincoat, and some food. So it does fit more than what it looks like. But if you're going up Baldy, you need at least 5 liters. This will not fit 5 liters. If you're going up tooth, I would suggest at least 4 liters. And again, it fits about, well, if you use 2 Nalgene's and you use this, you actually probably could get 4 liters in it with maybe a little bit of snacks. The lightweightness of it was very handy, so I did like having it. It rips really easily though. I ended up having to duct tape part of it because of a rip. This side I've got neckerchief, just an extra, never know if you need one. Again, the poles, I did a little, yes, it's extra weight, but it's a character, a little buddy. Each of us, me and my son had one, and then a couple of the other scouts and leaders had some. It was just something fun to add to your backpack. Yes, it's weight, but it's very lightweight, and it was just fun to add. I also had water shoes / camping shoes. These came in handy, not for river crossings. We didn't actually end up needing to use them for any river crossings, but they did come in handy for just around camp. They are lightweight, and it was nice to get out of my boots. Side pocket, I have my rain jacket, and I had a rain skirt in here. I'm not sure where the rain skirt went off to, somewhere between yesterday and today. I've misplaced it. It might be in the very bottom bits of my bag, who knows, but this is where I kept my rain gear, was on this side. The rain skirt was very helpful. I was able to use it as a ground tarp or as a cape, or an easy way to just put on and not have to take off my boots if it was raining. And I did end up using it one day when we were hiking through the burn scar. It was raining really bad. I had my raincoat on and my rain skirt on, and I stayed dry for the most part. Mainly my socks were just a little bit wet, but that was because my hiking shoes are not 100% waterproof.
Right here, Mace, right here. Oh, almost. Almost.
This pocket had my bathroom bag, which has my toothbrush, toothpaste, contact stuff because I have contacts, and a towel. I took this out of the bag because I wanted to show you guys this. I had the recommendation from someone else on Facebook to get compressed towels. I wasn't sure how well these would work. I got these off of Amazon, and I have got to say I love them. They are wonderful. If you're going to Philmont, they're really lightweight. You can see very compact. You add a little bit of water to them. They fluff up into a towel. It was helpful at nighttime or in the morning time when I really wanted to have something to scrub my hands, to wash, to get clean. They are worth it, worth the wait. Get the compressed towels. In the brain of my backpack, I had hot hands just in case it got cold. I didn't end up actually using those. It did get cold, but not enough where I needed them. I had an extra trash bag. Again, didn't need that either. One of the things on the packing list is a sewing kit. I didn't end up needing it, but I am glad that I had it in case I needed it. I did do a review on this. So if you want to see a little bit closer what's in there, check out one of my other videos that has the review. In here, I had clothespins. I've got clothespins in here and rope. Things get wet. We had a day where almost everything got wet. It was very handy to have these clothespins, especially on windy days. My socks weren't blowing off the line when I was trying to dry them off. Another thing is a Smellables bag. This is one of my main Smellable bags. It has my sunscreen, medication, just some odds and end things that smell. It is easier for you if you have a bag that you can just throw majority of your smellable things into, because everything that smells goes up in the bear bag. And when you've got 10, 11, maybe 12 people with smellable bags, it can sometimes be difficult trying to find yours. So if you have it in a different bag than everybody else and you got it all together, it makes it easier to just grab it and know which one's yours. Also wanted to mention the bathroom bag that I had with the contacts and those things. Those were smellable bags too. I ended up having 3 different smellable bags. I had this one, I had my contacts one with the towels in it, and then I had my first aid kit. Those were my 3 smellable bags. Another thing I had in here was gloves. I didn't end up using these gloves. They got wet, had to dry them out. It did get cold where my son wore his gloves, but my hands actually weren't too bad. If it had gotten much colder, I probably would have been thankful to have the gloves. In the top part of my brain, I have my med kit. This is one of my other smellables. I just used a cheap little baby med thing and then stuck my own medication stuff in here. And then my son has prescription medicine. Stick that in there. I had flashlight. I had another bag for smellables, so if I wanted to stick this in here, it would be easy to find. I would have had two smellable bags that were easy to find because they're bright colors. Oh, more towels that I ended up using up. This was my GoPro bag / electronics. Last thing I had in here was a selfie stick. I didn't end up using it. It was pretty heavy. I kind of wish I had not brought that. It would have been at least a half a pound weight I would have saved not bringing that. There is a lot of debate in Philmont on whether to bring a solar panel or not, whether they are useful or not. I was thankful that I had a solar panel. I had this one that I got off of Amazon. I added these little guys so I could attach them to my backpack, and I got this battery pack, and I bought the smallest cord I could find and I would attach them and sit it out in the sun, and it worked well. I probably only would get about a 20% charge if it was fully sunny, so that would give my phone about a half a charge, if that, but it still was enough to keep my phone powered for almost the whole entire trip. Now for what's inside my backpack, the main part. This is a 65-liter backpack. I would suggest no less than 65. There's some people that say you can get away with 55. I had trouble, as did other ones that had a 65-pound or liter backpack, being able to stick everything when it came to troop gear and food in the pack. So I would go no less than 65. I have my pot set that I showed in another video, where it's 2 pots. And this came in very handy, especially since I was gluten-free. I needed different stuff. My little pot, this worked out very well for tea or coffee. Inside my spoons, they were sporks. They were awesome. I have a review on those. They worked great. And then I had mine and my son's bowls. This was very much worth the purchase.
Oh, watered down, best biscuits and gravy. Oh, doesn't it look so delicious?
The good thing is,
there's an attempt and it could not have blown up in our faces any harder.
yeah.
You could have added no water and it just
Thank you, Tim and
little-
Mikey,
it
for this
just
delicious meal.
Yes.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, sloppy. Oh, so satisfying.
Beautiful. It's probably going to taste delicious.
Yeah.
Fine, no one will, I will.
Yeah, who's going to get the first bowl?
Who's gonna get the first bowl?
No one steps up.
I'm a cook, I don't have the rights, so I have to go last.
Well, no one will step up.
Oh, you're the cook. You
Okay,
don't
Ming.
get until last.
Yeah, Mikey, us cook. We
go.
don't get rights, we just have to wait till everyone else gets food.
Yep.
It's gonna take a few scoops because it's so watery.
It's okay.
Yes, make sure you get some water in there as well.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a full bowl because this is
No.
One thing you'll be carrying in your pack, and they take up a lot of space, is food. I kept one of the kits on purpose to show you guys. This is a lunch. As you can see, the trail meals are according to the day, not necessarily like the day of the week. Like if it is July 23rd, it would be lunch 3rd. It's not necessarily the first day. It's like this is lunch 1. This was actually for our last day on the trail. It was not for the first day. They're filled with a lot of snacks. This one's got sunflowers, Cheez-Its, chicken, like a chewy snack bar, some drink mix. That's very, very typical for a lunch. Your dinners are going to be heavier. Your breakfasts are going to be very similar to your lunches in size and weight. At any given time, you're going to have about maybe 9 to 12 of these. If you think about it, you got breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner for 3 days. Some will be 3 days at a time, 4 days at a time. As you can imagine, it's going to take up a decent amount of space. These are for 2 people. See, there is 2 things of seeds in there. There's 2 things of chicken in there. There's 2 Cheez-Its in there. So each one of these bags holds enough for 2 people. One thing that we did is we had everybody pick partners that they were going to share their trail meals with, and they kept those same partners from the beginning to the end. That made it easier to try to figure out who was needing to separate food, and not wondering, okay, did you get what you needed? Did you get what, you know, it made it so everybody knew what they were getting, who they were sharing with, much easier. This was a suggestion from one of our leaders, and it worked very well. It is a trash compactor garbage bag. You can see it's quite huge, but it worked out very well because I was able to cinch it down, twist it, cinch it down, stuff it in. Nothing inside of this got wet. This did not rip. This was after 12 days of use. Lots of rain. It held up very well. Trash compactor, large bag. Inside the trash compactor, I had my sleeping pad, which was a Cedar Summit. It's a female one, which is a little bit bigger than most people's, but I sacrificed the weight in order to have the extra padding. I was very happy with it. Worked very well. And then I have my bag of clothes. I'm not going to go over everything that's in there. If you pack according to the packing list, then you will know exactly what to pack. You're going to want a fleece, you're going to want socks, you're going to want sock liners. Look at that list, figure out what all you need to buy on there and get it. Don't skip out on any of the things that are listed on that list. We are almost finished. The last pocket. I have a blow-up pillow. This worked very well, except for I didn't have it in a waterproof bag, and the day that it really, really rained bad, it was wet. So I used my clothes bag as a pillow. Here is my sleeping clothes. I put them in a plastic bag just to make sure they didn't get wet. That worked well. I had a sleeping bag liner, and this is my sleeping bag inside a dry sack. I had the sleeping bag liner while I was on the trail always inside this. It was never out, and so it stayed dry, and I was very thankful I had my sleeping bag inside this dry bag, because again, everything got very, very wet. And I have a 20-degree down sleeping bag in there, and I did not want that to get wet. I would suggest sticking to the 20-degree sleeping bag. It worked very well. Even on cold nights, I was very warm. I wouldn't go much warmer. My son did have a 35-degree with a liner, so that helped. I would only go higher if you had a liner to make it drop back down to the 20-degree rating. One other thing to mention about the sleeping bag liner, even if you don't feel like you need one, it is good to have, because you are on the trail for 7, 9, 12 days. Showers are not guaranteed. You do not want your sleeping bag, which is hard to wash, to get filthy. If you have a sleeping bag liner, that helps contain the dirt within the liner, makes it easier to keep your sleeping bag clean. At the bottom, I found my rain skirt. Here it is, right here in here. Yay! So I didn't lose it. So that's everything. All the things that I got for Philmont. Pretty much everything that I brought, I used. And was very handy. A lot of this stuff I will do a separate review on, a little bit more detailed. So be looking out for those. But for now, that is what I packed, what I used, what worked. Hope this gives you a little bit of help for if you are trying to pack and figure out what to do for Philmont. Oh, and my backpack it's the female Aurora AG65. I had the female version and my son had the male version. Again, it worked well. I mean, we were able to fit everything we needed to fit into them, but it was tight on some days, especially when we had a lot of food. I would not go any lower than a 65-liter backpack. One thing I almost forgot to mention was what kind of shoes to wear on the trail. I chose to wear boots, and I would highly suggest wearing boots. Some people say trail runners, but with how rocky it is at Philmont, I would say boots are a better choice. especially ones with a good thick bottom to them. You're walking over a lot of really, really hard rocks, especially if you summit Baldy, and it can make your feet very tender. I did not end up with any blisters, not a single blister. I wore sock liners with wool socks most of the days. Sometimes I didn't always do the sock liners, but I did always do the wool socks. These shoes were a little pricey, but well worth it because, like I said, I did not have a single blister. They held up very well. They didn't blow out on me. My son, on the other hand, he wore some very broken in shoes, and his actually were busted out on the front. The whole front end on one of them was busted, and he had duct tape. He got the honor of being able to throw it up on the Philmont sign. That is one thing. If you blow out your shoes while you are at Philmont, you can throw them up on the sign. I'm videoing. Tell me about your shoes.
Here's my shoes. Went through all Philmont, had to duct tape them. Absolutely nothing. That's where my toes would be. Over like 80 miles in this. And we're gonna retire them.
Where are you gonna throw them?
Top of the sign, hopefully.
I'm recording. Oh! Oh! You got it! That is all for now. I will put some more information in the description, also with some links to help out your decision making for trying to figure out what to pack for Philmont. Again, make sure you pack what is on that packing list. It is a lot of stuff that is very necessary for you to have a successful trek. Happy trails. Bye.
You can do it.
Yep.
Is this for only one of the bear bags?
No, this is for.
Oh no. Okay.
Okay, we need someone get if we can't reach it, let's get a stick and get it.
Alex, I think
No,
he can
don't
grab
do that
that.
because that's an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah, don't
There's a
jump.
bunch of rocks right below.
Big stick right there.
Get a big